Oh, good evening, everyone. We do have some changes coming our way here over the next few days weather-wise around the bi-state region. So we didn't end up getting, really out of the 50s here during the course of the day on Tuesday, but we were close to 60 degrees. And really, even though we were cloudy for much of the day and saw very little sunshine, occasionally you could tell it was up there, but not much. At this point, everything's been moving along. Air traffic, no big problems here. West Coast has probably the biggest potential of seeing some additional delays here through the nighttime hours into early tomorrow because of the unsettled weather. But it's going to be until Thursday before we get any chance for rain in here. It does look like as we go into Wednesday, we are near the record high. Record for tomorrow is 74 degrees. We're going to be at 73, still around 70 or so on Thursday. There is a chance for a shower or thunderstorm. We're thinking it's pretty isolated here on Thursday. We're also thinking the best opportunity for seeing anything that has any impact that's going to be substantial in terms of maybe a couple of wind gusts or a stronger storm or two. That should be east of St. Louis. Now, as we go towards Friday, you notice we're trending down on the temperatures there. Saturday, there is a chance we'll see some snow showers. There might even be a dusting in some grassy spots, but it's not going to amount to much. Let's talk about Thursday. The area to watch really Thursday, off to the east of St. Louis. We think the chance for scattered showers is certainly there around the metro area, but when it comes to thunderstorms that may actually be a little bit stronger, first of all, we're limited by our moisture. And if the moisture is able to get pulled into the system far enough to the north where it can interact with some of the other ingredients, which also aren't perfectly lining up, but enough appear to be there, we might have an isolated stronger storm or two. Wind damage, maybe even a spinning storm, one of those low-top supercells that tries to put down a brief tornado. It could happen, but the odds of that, the probability still seem very low, especially from what we're looking at here still tonight, because the moisture surge seems to be somewhat limited. And so that means it's a conditional threat. Could it happen? You betcha. But it's not something that right now looks like it's a certainty, looks like it's even likely. It looks like it's more unlikely than it is likely. 11 o'clock until about 6 o'clock here on Sunday. So midday, end of the afternoon. The impact, maybe an isolated strong storm or two. Again, if that moisture returns and all the ingredients line up, there's nothing really you can do right now other than just stay up to date on the forecast because things will change. We'll continue to assess. We, every 6 hours, get a new round of meteorological guidance that gives us an idea of what's going on. Now, this looks more impressive than it really is when you're looking at the radar screen here. Yes, there's some rain showing up, but that's mostly mid-level moisture, and outside of a spritz or two, we're not going to see that reach the ground. Temperatures with a partly to mostly cloudy sky and maybe a spritz or two stay in the 50s overnight. An unusually warm night, and we should be clearing out as we go towards daybreak tomorrow morning, so that much of tomorrow ends up being bright and beautiful, a bit breezy. The fire danger is elevated north of Interstate 70. Even though we had rain last weekend, we've had a chance to dry it out. You put some gusty winds with that tomorrow. Certainly that could create some fire danger. So there's some snow out here in the Intermountain region, higher elevations. Look at all that rain coming in central, southern portions of California. Big deal for them out there as they badly need that rain and that mountain snow to help with the water situation there. Now, tomorrow for us, we essentially get into this little area here where there's not a lot going on. That's across western portions of Nebraska, western portions of Kansas. That should be our weather for tomorrow. That's why we think tomorrow is going to be an absolutely gorgeous day. Thursday, not so much. Clouds are back. Temperatures are still mild, so we're only talking about rain here on Thursday. But as we go through the morning, the chance for showers increases. They'll be scattered about if we see them between 9 and 11 o'clock. And by lunchtime, this first wave pushes off to the east. Now, there's a dry line here, not necessarily an actual cold front, but more of a very sharp drop in the humidity levels. Now, how much moisture is going to be feeding up ahead of that dry line? That's the big question because you really do need that moisture to be able to get a couple of those stronger storms. Notice we try to flare up a couple here, Montgomery into Macoupin counties in northern portions of our viewing area here on the Illinois side. That's probably the most likely area initially, and then along the Interstate 57 corridor by 4 or 5 o'clock or so. And then everything's spreading east. So here's the deal. The upper level winds, there's a lot of that. So we have the winds aloft. You see the instability increasing here, but you see where it's focused. As we head into the afternoon, it looks like it's focused north and east of St. Louis. And those are the areas where if we could get storms going, they have a better environment to potentially produce some wind gusts. And that's why we've targeted this area for our brief window of storms. Again, in any one spot, that window where you could have a stronger storm is not going to last more than an hour or two. But the overall getting this thing through here could be between 11 and 6. And we'll try to narrow that window down as we get closer. Again, you need to know, just staying up to date, staying up to speed on the forecast. Now, on the 21st of February, that's Saturday, cold snow showers. Actually, it's the 22nd. Let me think about that. It is. It's the 22nd of February is Saturday. No, it's not. That's Sunday because Monday's the 23rd. Been a long day. Anyway, 21st, colder snow showers. Here's the thing. We're 70 or so in the 70s on Wednesday. We're around 70 or so on Thursday. And then by Saturday, if it's not down in the 30s, it'll feel like it. Maybe even feeling like it's in the 20s by late in the day. So you're going to need those winter coats and gloves. It's not going to be a big snowstorm. Snow-wise, it's not really going to be a problem. The ground temperatures are warm. We're not expecting it to be heavy enough to overcome that. And so anything that falls would just tend to melt. That's on the 21st of February, which would be Saturday. Alrighty then, that'll do it for now. Going into next week, there is a chance for some rain here as we go towards Wednesday and Thursday, probably Friday too. We'll keep you updated on those changes as well.